President Trump has given the Iranian leadership an ultimatum. Make a deal with me in 2 months or all bets are off, and the United States may use military force to destroy Iran's nuclear program. Hi, this is Joel Rosenberg with a Rosenberg Report YouTube exclusive. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico right now. I'm just coming to the end of a 2-month speaking tour all over the United States, and I spoke here at a church this weekend, briefing them about the effect of the October 7th war. Why did it start? Why is it continuing? What's the spiritual dynamic? How do we put it in prophetic context? But this issue with Iran is super important. And before I get back to Israel, I just need to make sure that you are aware of it and that you're understanding it enough to pray about it. A couple weeks ago, President Trump sent a letter to the Iranian leadership. And the letter, while I have not personally seen a copy of it, and I don't know if it's public, I don't think it is, Trump is basically giving the Iranian regime 2 months to come to the table and negotiate a deal by which Iran would essentially dismantle its nuclear program in return for the United States lifting the maximum pressure economic sanctions. Trump wants to cause the Iranian regime to either be bankrupted until they are willing to cry uncle, Uncle Sam in this case, and to give up, and they give up the nuclear program. And Trump is saying, look, I'll do a negotiated deal with you, but it's not going to be the type of deal that President Obama negotiated with you, in which you get to keep everything. I'm not doing the Biden approach. This is different. But you've got 2 months. Iranian regime, Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, you've got 2 months. Come to the table, make a deal if you don't want your country to face the destruction of your nuclear program. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio then went on a radio show, the Hugh Hewitt radio show on the Salem radio network, and Hugh kind of pressed Secretary Rubio, okay, what happens after the 2 months is over? Is it, look, come to the table, make a deal, or else what? And Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a strong evangelical Christian and a hardliner on Iran, was clear. President Trump is ready, if he has to destroy militarily Iran's nuclear program. That's a big deal. That is not just putting a military option on the table. Now there's a timeline. Now there's a deadline. The clock is running. And this is the first time that President Trump has ever, in the first term, and certainly now in the last 8 weeks or so, that he's ever put a timeline, a deadline on Iran coming to the table and making a deal, or else military force. Now, what would that military force look like? Is that America alone, the United States military alone, attacking and destroying Iran's nuclear facilities, which are many, and they're hardened. Some of them are in deep tunnels and caves inside Iran. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of firepower to completely destroy that program. The U.S. has the capability. We have the aircraft, we have the bunker buster bombs, we have aircraft carriers. The United States has everything needed to do that job and do it well and do it right and do it completely. Iran has enough enriched uranium to build 6 nuclear warheads within weeks if the Iranian regime decided to do it. Now, right now, the assessment is they have that amount of fuel and they're producing more enriched uranium to build an even larger arsenal of nuclear weapons, but their assessment is that Iran's leadership has not yet made the decision to convert that enriched fuel all the way to the full military grade. They're close, but not quite all the way, and they haven't started turning them into actual fully operational nuclear warheads. Is the US right about that? Is Israel right about that? Is the IAEA right about that? I don't know. But do I think that if the Iranians aren't going to give up their program, that that program should be taken, the nuclear program should be taken out militarily? I do believe that. Obviously, I don't want another war in the Middle East. But Iran's been waging a war against the United States, against Israel, since 1979, when the Islamic Revolution was set into motion, when the Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini came from Paris, landed in Tehran, and then a few months later, Iranian terrorists took over the U.S. embassy in Tehran and held Americans hostage for 444 days, completely humiliating the world's main superpower. And the Iranian regime has never, ever paid a price for that. One possibility is that President Trump is going to decide that if the Iranians don't come to the table, that he's going to order, as the commander-in-chief, order U.S. air, naval, and other forces, not ground forces. We're not talking about an invasion or an occupation of Iran, but a massive missile and bomb strike against so many Iranian nuclear facilities, and potentially against Iran's regime facilities, the homes, the palaces, the headquarters of the Ayatollah Khamenei and the defense ministry and so forth. All of those are options. But there's another question that we need to consider, and that is, does Trump mean that Israel would take the initiative? That the United States would then give Israel the green light to go do that attack? There is a question whether Israel has, we certainly don't have the same capabilities as the United States military. We don't have aircraft carriers. We don't have forces that are close to Iran. So we have to send our fighter bombers a long distance with refueling tankers. And what if one of those goes down? How do we rescue our airmen if they go down in enemy territory? Now, the other question is, okay, is it just the United States? Is it just Israel attacking the nuclear facilities with American support, with Trump's full-on support? Or is it a combination of the United States and Israel? We don't know those questions. We don't know the answers to those questions, and nobody's going to tell us, okay? But I want you to know and understand just how close we are, closer than I've ever seen, to a full-scale military kinetic attack against Iran's nuclear program. It could be just 2 months away. Lots to pray about. We will keep tracking this at the Rosenberg Report, here on the Rosenberg Report YouTube channel. Obviously, on day-to-day, minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour news coverage, go to allisrael.com for all Israel news. There's a lot going on. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, at the end of a 2-month speaking tour. The situation is heating up. Israel's back at war in Gaza. We're fighting the Houthis in Yemen. We're fighting Hezbollah with some of their missile attacks from Lebanon. This whole thing could blow up even bigger, and then there's Iran. So that's what I'm heading home to in the next few days. Appreciate your prayers, and we'll keep you posted on every element as we go through this. But keep praying. America needs that Iranian nuclear program to be neutralized, dismantled. We'd love to see it peaceful, but if it takes military force, then so be it. Israel needs that. Our Sunni Arab allies need it. And honestly, the Iranian people need it also. The 80 million plus Iranian citizens are being held hostage by a horrific, Satan-driven, tyrannical regime that wants to go nuclear. And we are approaching the last moments, the last days, the last weeks before that problem can be solved, before Iran actually builds the bomb and threatens the world in ways that are absolutely unimaginable. From Albuquerque, this is Joel Rosenberg with a YouTube exclusive for the Rosenberg Report.